Iran, formerly known as Persia, is situated at the crossroads of Central Asia, South Asia, and the Arab states of the Middle East. This strategic position and its access to the Persian Gulf in the south have made Iran an important country throughout its history. Much of Iran is cut off from the outside world by a beautiful but often lonely landscape. High, rugged mountains create a barrier with Iran's neighbors in the west, and the eastern region is covered by a barren, salty desert. The current population of Iran is 89,135,020 based on projections of the latest United Nations data. The cities that are bold are capitals of provinces, counties, districts. Iran has 31 provinces and 12 fortified cities. Strong religious beliefs have been part of Iranians' lives for thousands of years. Almost all Iranians are Muslim or followers of Islam. The religion is central to daily life. Iran has a long history of scholarship that has created a rich culture of art, literature, poetry, music, cuisine, and architecture. Ancient Iranian thinkers wrote influential texts on philosophy and medicine, and it was an Iranian mathematician who invented algebra. Iran's universities are among the most respected in the Middle East. Iran's government is controlled by a religious figure called the Supreme Leader, who is appointed by a group of Islamic clerics called the Assembly of Experts. A president, elected by the people, is second in command. Iran has extensive oil reserves, but its economy has been hit hard by a trade ban imposed by the United States since the Shah was ousted in 1979. Allegations that Iran supports terrorism and a belief that it is developing nuclear weapons has led to further isolation in recent years. Iran is one of the oldest nations in the world, with a history dating back tens of thousands of years. The country's first great city, Susa, was built on the Central Plateau around 3200 BC. In 559 BC, the Persian Empire arose in southwestern Iran and conquered the Mesopotamians and Egyptians. The empire eventually extended from the Mediterranean Sea to what is now Pakistan, but it was conquered by the Greeks in 330 BC. In the late 18th century, foreign powers, including Russia and Britain, took control of parts of Persia. In 1921, a Persian army officer named Reza Khan took control and sought to end outside influence. In 1935, he renamed the country Iran. His son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, became Shah in 1941. In 1979, many Iranians who felt Pahlavi was corrupt forced him to flee, ending the reign of the Shahs in Iran. Since then, religious leaders have ruled the country. The first was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, whose 10 years in power were marked by a long war with Iraq and tensions with the United States and many other nations. Khomeini died in 1989, but much of those tensions still exist today. Iranian armed forces are the largest in the Middle East in terms of active troops. Iran's military forces are made up of approximately 610,000 active duty personnel, plus 350,000 reserve and trained personnel that can be mobilized when needed, bringing the country's military manpower to about 960,000 total personnel. Iran has the fourth largest oil reserves and the second largest natural gas reserves in the world. The nation is a member of OPEC, and generates approximately 50% of state revenue through oil exports. Tehran is the capital of Iran and one of the largest and most populous cities in the world, with a population of 14 million. The United States of America is a country primarily located in North America. It consists of 50 states, a federal district, 5 major unincorporated territories, 9 minor outlying islands, and 326 Indian reservations. The United States is the world's third largest country by both land and total area. It shares land borders with Canada to its north and with Mexico to its south, and has maritime borders with the Bahamas, Cuba, Russia, and other nations. With a population of over 333 million, it is the most populous country in the Americas and the third most populous in the world. The national capital of the United States is Washington, D.C., and its most populous city and principal financial center is New York City. Indigenous peoples have inhabited the Americas for thousands of years. Beginning in 1607, British colonization led to the establishment of the 13 colonies in what is now the eastern United States. They quarreled with the British Crown over taxation and political representation, leading to the American Revolution and preceding Revolutionary War. The United States declared independence on July 4, 1776, becoming the first nation-state founded on Enlightenment principles of unalienable natural rights, consent of the governed, and liberal democracy. By 1900, the United States had established itself as a great power, becoming the world's largest economy. After Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the US entered World War II on the Allied side. The aftermath of the war left the United States and the Soviet Union as the world's two superpowers and led to the Cold War. During the Cold War, both countries engaged in a struggle for ideological dominance but avoided direct military conflict. They also competed in the space race, which culminated in the 1969 landing of Apollo 11, making the US the first and so far only nation to land humans on the Moon. With the Soviet Union's collapse and the subsequent end of the Cold War in 1991, the United States emerged as the world's sole superpower. The US ranks highly in international measures of quality of life, income and wealth, economic competitiveness, human rights, innovation, and education. It has low levels of perceived corruption and the highest median income per person of any polity in the world. It has high levels of incarceration and inequality and lacks universal health care. As a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities, the US has been shaped by the world's largest immigrant population. The US is a developed country. Its economy accounts for approximately a quarter of global GDP and is the world's largest by GDP at market exchange rates. The United States is the world's largest importer and second largest exporter. The United States is a founding member of the United Nations, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, Organization of American States, NATO, World Health Organization, and is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. The US is the foremost military power in the world and a dominant political, cultural, and scientific force internationally.